So the Moskva, I think, is a very unrepresented cruiser in today's game. Now, part of that's because the Petro just came in and replaced it in the regular line. Well, I guess the Nevsky replaced it in the regular line, but Petro's more of a successor to the Moskva than the Nevsky is. Just due to turret layout, size, tankiness, all that stuff. I would call it more of the replacement than the Nevsky really was. Nevsky just makes more sense for the regular light cruiser line, that's for sure. But I think this ship should be played more by people. It's so relaxing. In comparison to ships like, well, I guess we'll compare it to Nevsky and Petro. Nevsky, it has decent armor, but if a battleship gets lucky with its dispersion, you're gonna take a lot of pain, especially because the deck is only 30 millimeters, so most battleships have the capability to overmatch that at tier 10. So if somebody gets a really crazy dispersion salvo on you, you're gonna take huge damage. Whereas Moskva has 50 millimeter plating everywhere, much like Stalingrad's layout. You get the icebreaker bow, so the upper bow is the only part that's 25 millimeters. Upper bow and upper stern as well. The very back portion of the stern, I suppose, doesn't quite have an icebreaker really. So you're pretty tanky from up front is what I'm trying to say. And that's really, really key to being a relaxing ship to play. Because you're not constantly worried about being overmatched. So I can just sit here angled to this Thunder, and he can't really shoot AP at me. So then I'm just left to dodge his HE salvos. With rudder, not rudder mod, prop mod, I can go forwards and backwards quite quickly, and I'm pretty likely to dodge him. So you'll see me often play this ship when I just want to relax, because dealing with overmatch is really frustrating as a cruiser. I think it's a necessary part of the game, otherwise, battleships would be even more useless than they already are. But as a cruiser player, I understand the frustrations with overmatch, and that's why I think Moskva is just more relaxing than Nevsky. And you get a pretty solid reload on this ship, with 10 seconds, like on these guns, with this range and this dispersion, this shell flight time. It's crazy, these guns. They're amazing. Lots and lots of fun to use, really easy to use. And the reason I say it's more relaxing than Petro is you are very effective from long range compared to Petro really wanting to be pushed up close due to the poor dispersion and lack of range. Because if you take range mod on the Petro, your DPM becomes so bad that you're really not that amazing up close. Sure, you're tanky, but you're not really that amazing up close. Just to be kind of a Moskva at range with worse dispersion. So Petro's more of a in-your-face kind of ship. And obviously we all know what the meta of World of Warships is right now. Petro's actually able to push in reasonably well just due to how unreasonably tanky that ship is. It's just so small and hard to hit with, a crazy citadel protection. And that's not something the Moskva has. So if you're broadside, you're probably going to get punished. You don't get the Petropavlovsk's in like 300 plus millimeter belt armor. It's like 150, 160 on Moskva. I actually don't remember. We can go over to the armor viewer in a bit. But I like this ship a lot. I think it's a lot of fun to play on a flank like this, or even in the middle. But I really enjoy it on a flank because you just keep your guns all to one side. You angle reasonably well to where the battleships are coming from, and you can spam HE away at the angled ships, and as soon as somebody goes broadside, you have enough pen at these long ranges to citadel cruisers at any range. Battleships you can really only citadel at close range, but that's part of the fun of this ship, is when these more endgame scenarios happen, when there's only a few ships left alive and everything becomes a more close range fight. This ship essentially acts like a battleship with a 10-second reload because its guns are so good at close range. The AP is nasty. You may not have the improved pen angles of the Petro or Stalingrad, but, I mean, people end up broadside all the time. And I think that's a big strength of this ship, is you're good at long range, you're good at close range, as long as you angle, essentially. Now, I think part of the reason this ship is so relaxing for me at a closer range nowadays is since it got the buffed icebreaker bow. When the ship released, of course, it had an all 25mm bow, so it was very, very, very easy to just die when you just sit bow in, just due to your citadel being very exposed up front. But now you can pretty much go bow in and not get citadeled. It's possible, but very unlikely. Shells have to plunge through the bow just right to get your citadel, so you're relatively well off like that. I'm not a particularly huge fan of that change. I thought it was a really interesting ship before that forced you to angle in very specific ways to mitigate damage, but I guess Wargaming thought that was a little too challenging or difficult, and they decided to change it. But here you're seeing exactly why I love this ship so much. I don't play it very often, but when I do, it's just so relaxing. You can push flanks so easily because you have insane radar capabilities with 12-kilometer radar, a hydro to deal with torps, or you can take defensive fire to help you do better against CVs. That might be a little bit better. That way a CV might be less likely to drop you or less likely to get multiple drops on you. There's a lot of AP bombs that can really screw over Moskva, and so you're not really seeing a game here where there's a CV. I wouldn't be playing this ship bow in when there's a CV. When there's a CV in the game, you need to be able to be mobile, dodging, all that stuff. So you can't be stuck bow in at a certain angle. You need to be able to turn and accelerate and brake and all that stuff. Here, I'm surprised I don't Citadel this Iowa ever. I think I was just getting unlucky. I don't know. The data on the pen charts says I should be able to pen him at outside 10 kilometers, or like pen his Citadel, but I wasn't, so I don't know. But it's a good ship. You know, we got a Kraken this quickly into the game already. I don't know if I've ever had I've probably had Kraken similar speed, but not in a long time. And it's just a fun ship because you're always going to be good no matter what the range is. I think that's kind of the big part about this ship that I really enjoy. You don't have to deal with that overmatch. You don't have to deal with poor accuracy at long range. You don't have to deal with poor range. You get 21 kilometers range with a unique upgrade or a legendary mod. It's a great ship, and I think people don't play it as much just because, I don't know, I guess it's a premium now or something, but if you don't have this ship, it's available for coal, and I think it's a very good option for coal. But that's the one kind of highlight game I had. Let's hop into a live game to give you a more realistic view of this ship. So here we are in the live game. Here, since there's no CV, I'm really just going to try and play this like a radar cruiser would/should on this map. This island right here keeps you really safe and allows you to, I think, get most of the cap radared. It's a pretty standard spot, but there's a reason it's pretty standard. I'm not going to try and do anything fancy with it. If this were a game with a CV, I wouldn't go bow in here. I would probably still use the island, but I would turn out to the left here and back in. And that way I can, you know, if the CV comes after me, accelerate out and weave and turn and get away from him. Because once the CV decides to go after you, it's likely he's just going to keep going after you if you stay in the same position and nothing changes, so you're going to want to definitely move. So, no CV though, pretty nice for me, honestly. I'm getting pretty lucky there. I think Shima Holland's a pretty good combination. And looks like most of our team is actually coming up here, as you can see. The Republic Goliath have decided to come up here with us, so it's not a bad thing, honestly, but it just means we have to win this side. That's all. We at least have a DD going to each cap zone, so sometimes you get that where there's a lot of DDs in the game, and for whatever reason, they won't at least put one on each cap. But that doesn't happen this time, so pretty happy about that. So from here I can definitely radar that, and in fact I think I will. Yeah. Hopefully get some shots off on him, but if not, honestly, just getting him off the cap for now is actually really good for our team. It essentially gives all of my team information, right? It lets my team know exactly what's here and who's coming. And despite really no damage being done at all, which is really sad. It's information, dude. So that's good. Information's always good. It'll hopefully mean my Shima will stay alive longer, all these things. And in fact, they're YOLOing their Yoshino in, which is really kind of strange. Getting pretty lucky with fire RNG right now. We just gotta make sure we don't poke out too much for that Stalingrad to potentially shoot us. I'm just keeping an eye on my map for when this Yoshino pops out, and in fact he probably is right now, so let's switch. Looks like he's angling. Okay, that's fine. Shoot AP here. I'm okay with that. And now we'll pop out and maybe be able to hit the Slava, I guess? We'll just want to make sure we're angled against this guy really well. Because he has very good guns. At least accurate ones. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to help my team push in. Our Republic is probably going to die. Because he's just too aggressive. We just got to keep in mind there's a Montana down south, but it's unlikely he's going to get a good shot on us. Hot swap to AP because it's broadside Stalin. That is a very good target for me. Hopefully those go in. Kleber is just going to spam us. Unfortunate. Really not a fan of that. We should be angled enough here. Yep. Relatively. See? Turrets break. So, I'm going to go over this later, but there's a reason I run preventive maintenance and the major module for main gun survivability. Your turrets tend to break a lot. Why did we lose so many people here? Aw, really, Stalingrad? Oh, that's unfortunate. We're gonna lose this game by the looks of it. That's too bad. How can I impact this game? I can't cross now that the Stalingrad is... Oh, sorry, I bumped my mouse. I can't cross now that the Stalingrad is there. I think we'll pop Hydro and maybe give ourselves a little turnout. Actually, no. We'll shoot the Republic for now. It's fine to just kind of farm a bit of damage, let the battle progress, see if my Shima can do anything up north. It's highly likely that he just ends up dying to the daring. Sometimes you just kind of feel useless in games. Oh, I need to stop before I poke out too far for the Stalingrad. Despite being a radar cruiser, kind of feel useless this game. I can radar that if it smokes up. It did. So I'm constantly trying to see what my team is trying to do. And, well, unfortunately we didn't get the damage on the Shima we were really looking for. Oh, there's the daring. Okay. This is really bad for me, actually. Because that daring can actually eat me up. Because the smaller the guns are in this game, the better they are. Funnily enough. Yeah, there's a fire. We knew those were coming, and that's why we take fire prevention, really. Okay. I think we'll rep that real quick. Shima got the GK, though, so that's good. We're going to try and get behind this island as much as we possibly can. If we start saturating on this Kleber, we will switch to, and we kind of are already, we'll switch to AP. So we'll just get more damage. Not if he angles, though. Kind of thirsty for me, though, that's for sure. Slava, don't kill me. Don't kill me, please. We'll shoot at him. And then I think we're just going to turn out here as much as we possibly can. Hopefully the Republic won't get a shot into us. That's the hope, at least. Their DDs are just kind of destroying ours right now. There's not really much else I could say about that. Our Goliath Slava are pretty far back. We're getting flanked from the south now. That's too bad. That is really unfortunate, actually. I might be able to do something about it eventually, once these DDs decide to push in. Looks like Kleber's not going to push in. Pretty good damage there, actually. Okay, how do we possibly win this game? We can't push into a Kleber daring Republic, so with a Shima there too. So let's not take a broadside salvo from this Slava, shall we? I don't know what to do here. Actually, I think we just lose. Unfortunate. Oh man, I had a really good game recorded for this actually, and well, my mic wasn't working, so I had to go fix that. So we end up with a not so great game. Still 100k, maybe more, but it's definitely a loss. Yeah, we kind of slapped that Kleber around. Sometimes you just lose games, like there's nothing you can do about it, and that's fine. Realistically, if you want to know about win rate, I would say 30% of the time, if you're playing solo, you're just gonna lose games. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. It's just a loss from the beginning, just because of the way it's random queue, right? Like you're never gonna get like the best players on your team all the time, and the same thing goes for wins. Like some of the time you're just guaranteed to win. 30% of the time, I'd say it's really in that middle 70%, or sorry, 40%. It's late. I'm tired. It's really in that middle bit that you really prove if you're good or not. I think that's really where it comes down to. Let's try and just eke out a bit more damage. I'm aware that the Slava's probably going to shoot me, possibly the Republic, so we've got health though, so let's just try and push in. Yep, Slava shot, so we'll angle to that. Yeah, we just got pushed into a corner. Sometimes, like, you need good, like, when it's 3 DDs, or 4 DDs versus 4 DDs, really the DDs can decide the game really quickly. It's unfortunate that they have that much battle power, but that's how it goes, you know. That's radar. Okay, catch the gearing. That's good, and the Shima even. Monty's not shooting me. That's really lucky. Actually, maybe we can kill this gearing here. Shima's even shooting at me. Okay, we got one. Does he not know he's in radar yet? I guess. Ooh, that's so lucky. Alright, now he's clear. Montana, please go behind the island. What's in that smoke? Oh, there's a Smolensk in there, dude. Or not in there yet, but it's on its way. Hopefully bounce. Nice. Pop a heal, because, I mean, why not? Hopefully this Smolensk shoots me? It'd be weird if he didn't. There we go. Yeah. See, I tried to push in to get into his spotting range. There we go. Because there's an assured detect range for those ships. And that's what I was trying to push into. Now we just have to hope that the Yamato isn't going to come out and kill us. Which is highly likely at this point, but... We're hoping, right? Like, you got to make plays based on hope. Or back out and kill us. Actually, backing out and killing us is worse. Ha! Okay. Fair enough. Oh, junk teams, man. They happen. They happen to everybody. You got to recognize when it's a junk team and there's nothing you can do versus something you could have done about it. And you can't blame the team every game, but you also can't blame yourself every game. If you're looking to improve, err on the side of blaming yourself for a win or a loss, but sometimes it very much is just your team is terrible. And that's okay, right? Like, their DDs, they had 2 DDs in the top 2 of their team, right? Like, you're never going to win games like that when there's no CV. Just because DDs have the highest battle efficiency out of any class, barring CVs. So their impact on the battle is going to be the greatest, if you're a good player. They might not be dealing the most average damage, but that's not what impacts winning. Winning is spotting, is capping, is gaining ground, it's contesting critical areas of the map. It's all of those little things that destroyers do that help a win happen more than just a battleship like a Thunderer farming with HE at the back of the map. So that's why you'll find bad DD players lose games and good DD players win games more often than any other class. So let's talk about the captain build. I like Expert Loader for those times where you're going to hot swap over to a different shell type, usually from HE to AP when the cruiser or something goes broadside. I really like that. This is kind of necessary for all those times when you're bow in facing a Des Moines or another Moskva or a Stalingrad, and it's essentially a who can kill each other's turrets first fight, and you want preventative maintenance plus the upgrade module that helps turret health for those fights. It's really frustrating to lose your turrets, and you saw one Stalingrad salvo was enough to knock one out temporarily, so they're not the most tanky turrets in the world. Priority target's nice just to know how many people are shooting E, really, but it's not as critical. It can help you with when to angle, but you should really know where all the battleships are if you're pushing in and needing to angle anyway. Adrenaline Rush is my favorite tier 2 skill. The other option would be Expert Marksman, but I find my turrets are usually in the correct place, so... But if you're having trouble, Expert Marksman's pretty good. Superintendent I take because you're tanking a lot, so having an extra heal is really nice. Sometimes you get through all the radars too in heavy DD games, so that's why I take that. Concealment Expert because you're spotted from space. It's like 14.1 kilometers range, so you want to get that down as much as you can. Fire Prevention because the ship dies to fires from little guns more than it will the alpha damage of the little guns, because you have 50mm plating, so that Fire Prevention really helps you deal with that dot damage. Demolition Expert helps you deal dot damage, right? It puts you up to 21% fire chance, I believe. Yes, with a 10-second reload. It gets your HE a little closer to like Zhao HE or Henry HE, that kind of thing. So I like it. Fire's, pretty standard for a cruiser. So that's the captain I'd use. It's debatable if you would trade 2 of these for Expert Marksman, for example. I just find that Expert Loader and Preventive Maintenance are both very valuable on this ship. If you're really struggling with your turret positioning, I would say maybe give up main battery or aiming systems mod 1 before you'd give up main battery, or before you'd give up those 2 captain skills, because you can just put this module on and have pretty good turret traverse. I still use aiming systems though because I like accuracy. Using main armaments mod for, again, the turrets break argument. Surveillance radar mod. Just having people spotted in a 12-kilometer radar for longer is very, very, very good. I use prop mod because there's certain games where you're just sitting bow in at longer ranges juking, and it's a really nice thing to have to just be able to go forward and back to dodge shells. Concealment, again, because you're spotted from space. And I use the legendary mod or unique upgrade. more range, better accuracy. I like that a lot. But that's not to say reload is bad or range is bad. But I like the added accuracy that this gives. It feels nice on a Moskva to have a really, really, really accurate ship. So I think that's about all I wanted to say. I find this ship very relaxing because, well, in the previous game I recorded, it was more obvious, but you're just kind of good in those games where nothing really happens and there's a lot of open water, long range HE spam. Moskva is really, really strong in those situations, which is the majority of the game. This one was a little different that I showed live, but that's the point of a live one, right? You get those frustrating games with when your teammates don't really know what they're doing. So hope you guys enjoyed this one with the Moskva, and consider playing it. It's a pretty relaxing kind of chill ship. So have a good day, guys.